So this is my E30, the one that I'm going to put the M52 2.8 litre in. She's looking a bit drab these days, but once upon a time, before I pulled it off the road, it did look pretty decent. So yeah, with no forums these days, or at least very little forum activity, Facebook seems to be the way that a lot of people are getting their information, but that information's lost almost instantly. So I wanted to do a video. YouTube seems to be the best way to do it. Go into a bit more detail about the swap. And yeah, so make a start. So I've removed all the boring bits and pieces. So M40's gone, gearbox is gone, condenser is gone, as well as some AC lines. If we come around here, dash is gone, heater box is gone. There's a whole heap of bits and pieces around. So yeah, E30 is pretty empty at the moment. All the stuff that I need removed's been removed. I'd like to say that I'm halfway with this, but I think I'm not even a quarter of the way yet. But yeah, that's enough shit talking about the stuff I pulled out. Time to talk about the things I'm going to put in. First and most important, M52 2.8 litre. Now the biggest problem here is not the engine at all. It's that the engine's in a car, which I'm daily driving. So that's an issue. So I need to get another car, which I have, but it has no head on the engine. So yeah, that's one of the first issues. So here's some of the other parts I've stockpiled in the last couple of months. We've got a E36 steering rack. We've got some E28, I think it is, engine mounts. A Barina steering shaft with E36 and E30 ends on it. A C101 plug that at some point in time I'm going to have to crimp and all put together, which I'm sure is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Some tie rods. I've also got these S15 seats I want to somehow fit into the car. Because, you know, didn't have enough to do already. Coming into the back of one of my other sheds, I've got M40 gearbox, which we took off. I'm going to adapt that. We've got E34 oil pan. Yeah, so under all that crap, I actually have a drift car too. Goes pretty good when it's not permanently parked in the shed. Thus far, I've mainly managed to pull crap out of the car. So one of the few bits I've actually managed to do and complete has been the brake booster. Now this is a tiny little unit from a Porsche. I managed to find it U-Pull-It. So this is a good little unit. I'm not sure how much help it's actually going to supply compared to the other booster, because it is quite a bit smaller, but that's one thing I'm going to come across later on. So as you can see, bolts straight up to the original master cylinder. From there, the lines need a little bit of a tweak, but generally speaking, they were about right in the correct position. On this side of the firewall, the booster is bolted straight into the original E30 booster mounting points. That adjuster there, that nut, is actually E30, and it's bolted straight to the Porsche one. But the only thing I had to do was I had to grind down just here. You can see that's where it's shiny. Grind that down and then re-thread it, because it actually wasn't short enough for to bolt to the E30, and I had to lop off the end of the thread. But all in all, probably about an hour's worth of work. Now I know some people will want to drill new holes and bits and pieces, and that's fair enough. That's not something I wanted to do though. So the other thing that I've got done, the only other thing I've actually managed to complete, is getting all the battery tray fixed up. So as you can see, that's nice and shiny. There was actually quite a hole where the rust had actually come out of here. There was no overflow nozzle on it, and the water would flow in behind this mat, and it would get stuck and damp, and then it would actually put a hole in it. Put a hole about here, and it went through to the actual cabin. So yeah, I've got that all fixed up. The other part of the rust was actually, and it's part of the reason that I took the, well, it was the reason I took the entire dash out, is because this part here where the aircon and the heater box bolts to, that had rusted away pretty good. So what about next time, I can hear you not asking? Well, we've got some aircon parts coming in to convert to R134A. Also sent off an E30 subframe to get reinforcements put in it from Garagistic. And also some tabs put on there so that I can run an E36 rack without spacers, which will certainly make my trip over Regency a bit easier. So yeah, coming up sometime in the future when I get my button gear.